You had a glass blowing studio in St. Louis at the time, and you ran into a problem that you eventually found a solution for, which became Square. Can you walk us through that founder's story? And then I'd like to discuss how you used it in your initial pitches and why it was so important.
So it was interesting. Jack Dorsey and I had been friends for years, and he and I started working together back when he was 15 and I was, I guess, 26. And we had already decided to start a new company together. So this was back in 2009, late 2008, 2009. And Jack and I were going to go back into business together because he fresh out of Twitter for the first time, and I was planning to do whatever Jack wanted to do, and he was planning to do what I wanted to do. Neither one of us had an idea. So we ended up brainstorming for a couple of days, came up with basically nothing, but we had already hired our first programmer. So he was going to start soon, and we had to get going. So I went back to St. Louis to pack up my stuff, and I was in my studio trying to sell a piece of glass to a lady who only had an American Express card. I couldn't take an Amex card at the time, so I lost that sale. And it was a phone order, and I was talking to her over my iPhone, and I looked at this device in my hands, and I was like, how come this thing couldn't process a credit card? Because my attitude towards this technology is it turns into whatever I want it to. I mean, it turns into a map or a book or a TV or a, gambling device, slot machine. It wouldn't turn into a credit card reader. And so I called Jack on that device. I turned it into a phone and called up my buddy and said, hey, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to build something so I never lose another sale. And Jack liked the idea. And we looked into the world of payments and realized that there'd been basically no innovation in the payments world since PayPal, which would, have been a decade earlier. So we said, wow, nobody's doing anything in this space. We should go.
Why is that founder's story? Why do you think that's so compelling? And why is it that you used it in your original pitches? And again, I'm focused on storytelling here. That I write a lot about this, and I think it's an underappreciated element of especially young or aspiring entrepreneurs. Why is that founder's story so important? And why do you think it was compelling in the investor pitches?
Well, the first reason it was compelling was that it was absolutely honest. I mean, there's no embellishment to that. We didn't spin it. We didn't, create some backstory later. But it also gave us a very clear idea of what had to be done, because I, as a small business person, wanted a product that didn't exist. So it was very easy, being the co-founder, to tell the team what I wanted. And so as we were working on the early prototypes, and as I was building the hardware, and Jack was working on the software, it was very easy for them to turn to me and say, how would you use this? How would this work? Would you ever do this? Would you read this contract? So it was never a case of we had to, create this, theoretically abstract offering. We knew exactly what we wanted because it was what I wanted. Now, that very quickly expanded as we started getting other customers. Sure. But to have that clarity of vision at the beginning was very helpful, and it helped our pitch.